Hi, everyone. I'm Marianne Croce here from Small Biz Vantage and the creator of 3 Day Weekend System and Coaching. And I am glad to be here each and every week to do these lives for you. And I do them for a couple of reasons. One of them is for you to be able to shift your perspective or your vantage, if you will, of your business or the company that you work for and actually turn it into your competitive edge because most people don't do that. The second thing is for you to be able to take one action item away each and every week and implement it. It doesn't take massive changes to make a real positive impact. A lot of times it's just small changes which cause a ripple effect in the business. So people ask me all the time, Marianne, who do you work with when I meet them? And I primarily work with owners and leaders who are in the automotive industry and the skilled trades. These are people who are at a point where they've reached different milestones in their business, but now they're looking to really next level. They don't want their business to consume them anymore. And they're really looking to have a life as well without sacrificing the business being profitable, sustainable, or enjoyable. So that's where I come in and I help. So this week's topic is achieving peak performance. And I thought about this because of an event that I had gone to. It was an industry event, a conference, and I went for the first time to this conference last week. And I have to say, it did not disappoint. Although I'm not a fan of traveling, right? There's a lot of things that happen with traveling. I deal with it because I really enjoy meeting people live. And I enjoy the live conferences because I get so much out of them by connecting with others, with people who are achievers. They really look at their business differently and their career for that matter and their life very differently than most do. So I wanted to do this live today and talk about what I've learned over the years when it comes to achievers and people who are really looking to operate, show up at peak performance. So, what I've learned is achievers are people who want to really grow personally and professionally. They take responsibility for their growth and they will choose ways to do just that, grow. They track their results and they use feedback to improve. So this is really different than a lot of the people that you talk to in day to day, whether they're inside or outside of the industry. So achievers, people who really want to operate at peak performance, they do these four things. They actually seek out help or advice when they get stuck. Whether it's personally or professionally, they want to know how they can improve. And they seek to work smarter, not harder, in all areas of work and life. They're not just saying, oh, well, that's the way it is. We just have to deal with it. They really do look for different ways to improve. The second thing that they do is they put themselves in situations that challenge them. They're okay with looking in the rearview mirror and assessing how things went, what worked, what didn't work, and they'll be vulnerable. They'll put themselves in challenging situations, maybe things that they've never done or tried before. The third thing that they do is they don't believe they know it all, but they will share lessons learned, things that they've gone through and learned about. They'll share that with others. So they're very giving. Yet they don't believe that, they know it all. And they understand and realize that everyone has something to bring to the table. Even someone who's brand new to an industry, they know that there's something there that they can bring to the table. And they really do consider other people's perspectives. And the fourth thing that I've noticed is they know how to have fun while they're growing, right? It's okay for them to be vulnerable. They know how to laugh at themselves and they tend to attract like minded people, very down to earth. So these are people who really understand that whatever role you're in, there's always a way to next level your performance. And that's really what we're talking about here. This includes asking yourself some questions from time to time. And one important one being, how does what I do or what I'm doing affect my business or my life? These people can actually connect the dots of the actions that they take and the results that they want. And then this really, they realize that it puts them in control of better outcomes. So, for example, an owner, for example, would say something like, if I'm going to implement something new in my business, how is this actually the thing that I'm going to do? How is this actually going to affect the business? How is it going to affect my life? How is it going to affect the team's life, the customers, all of that? How is it going to affect their experience here? So they actually think that deep and they want to know if these things that they're going to do is really going to result in the outcome that they want. And when they think that through, it really does put them in control of a better outcome. So we've all had this experience before. I'm sure you can remember a time because we've all worked with someone who wasn't carrying their weight and they were really actually making more work for others. And they're usually, typically you'll see these are the people that are the last ones in or they're the first ones to leave. And basically they have all these excuses for everything, why they couldn't get something done. It just becomes a habit and you kind of expect it from these people. Sadly, many of them believe that they're good at their job, but peak performers don't operate this way. They take what they do really seriously and they think of themselves as a professional. And as a result, their actions that they take, they're acting accordingly. So their actions are very professional. They think of themselves as professionals and they show up as professionals. And I found a lot of these types of people at the conference that I was at. Now, here's things that peak performers won't tolerate. And I've been watching peak performers and people that I really admire for decades. And here's something that I notice. They won't stay in a career or a job where they can't grow. That's good for owners to know. They won't stay in a toxic culture or work in a company that has conflicting core values. So they have a set of core values, but the company's core values really don't align. At times they really feel like they're conflicting. And they won't stay where they aren't valued and appreciated. If you start disrespecting these kinds of people, they're gone. So consistency is very important. Peak performers are dependable. They constantly deliver their best performance, whereas average performers may have fluctuations in their output. And I'm not talking about, something where there was a very good reason for it. I mean, there is no reason. Goal setting. Peak performers challenge themselves. They set ambitious and specific goals, and they're constantly striving for improvement, while average performers may have vague or very low reaching goals. Preparation. Peak performers invest time and effort in preparation, whether it's in sports, business, life, or any other field, any other role that they're in. Average performers prioritize that performance to the same extent. It's kind of like, well, what happens, what happens. But They don't really prepare and they don't prioritize it. They don't think it's important. The next one is resilience. Peak performers bounce back quickly from setbacks and they view failure as an opportunity, whether, it's whatever the failure is in, they look at it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Average performers dwell on failures and they really become discouraged and they can stay stuck there. When it comes to focusing and prioritizing, I find that peak performers really are excellent at prioritizing their time and focusing on high impact tasks. They avoid distractions and prioritize really effectively. Average performers may really struggle with managing priorities and they get sidetracked very easily. Feedback and learning. Peak performers seek feedback and are committed to continuous learning and improvement. They're open to a new perspective and they really adapt quickly. Average performers may be resistant to feedback and change. They really struggle with that. So, my conference takeaways, I want to tell you what I did when I was there. It was the first time that I was at the conference. I wasn't speaking at this time. But I wanted to make the most of it. So it was really great connecting with industry peers, and I made some new friends as well. I had an opportunity to volunteer, and I have a deeper appreciation for all of the work needed to put on an industry event. It really went well. It was flawless. They had so much to do for so many different people. I did a couple of podcasts, had dinner with great industry friends, and I listened to seasoned speakers and will implement some new ideas to best serve my clients. What I noticed was peak performance was easy to spot. It's really easy to spot out if you're looking for it. Most people are grateful for the opportunity to come to the event. Those who didn't show up as professional, they really didn't get the same value out of the conference. They may have stayed out too late or didn't make it to class on time, and it really showed. They didn't retain enough or learn what they should have or could have. And here's what I learned. It's our responsibility to take the action needed to have success in work and life. No one else can take credit for our success, and we can't blame others for our failures. We have to own them either way. So I want to share with you a pro thinking tip. Peak performance is a choice. You start thinking peak performance and your actions will become different, and so will your results. Choose the actions that attract other achievers. You will have the group that will support you, and you will find them there sharing and giving with them. You will find being there rewarding. So I want to thank you for being at this week's Business Leadership in 15 Minutes. If you find it valuable, please share it with another business owner who would get some value out of it. Thank you and have an enjoyable week.